everyone, my name is B Carter and welcome back to my channel. I can't get my hair to do what I want it to do today. It's not, you know, like when you wash it and it's just really soft and so it just doesn't sit. It's frustrating. So today we are going to be talking about Micheal Negrete. He is a UCLA student that went missing in 1999 and is still unsolved. While we do this to my face and my eyeballs. So if you would like to hit subscribe and all that lovely stuff, and like follow me on Twitter. Like I've got my Twitter handle like in there. Is it called a handle? I don't really know, but I joined Twitter quite recently actually, and I've been tweeting just like myself because I don't have a single fucking follower, not even one, and it's really quite depressing. Anyway, follow me on Twitter, press subscribe, press like, leave me a comment, leave me whatever, let me know what you think of the video. Love you. Stay inside. Morning. It's morning again. It's very early. Why did I get out this early? So we're gonna get ready for the day. Yay. Anyway, we're gonna talk about Micheal Negrete. I think that's how you say his name. If I butcher the names in this, like, I apologize, but this one is just, whew. So it's unsolved. He's a missing person. He went missing in 1999 from UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles. So he was born the 25th of March, 1981, and he was 18 years old when he went missing. So he grew up around LA, California, Los Angeles, California, with his parents, Mary and Micheal Negrete, and his two brothers, Steve and Dave. His brothers were both younger than him, providing you with all the facts so that you can make your own conclusion of what you think happened. As Brittany Vaughan would say, I don't make the news, I just report on it. I'm pretty sure she's not the first person that said that, but she's the last person I heard say that, So he was attending UCLA on a music scholarship. Dude was clever. And he was a freshman and he was just like a good dude. Like everybody said, like that he didn't have any enemies. He was never like, you know, into anything sketchy. Like he was just a good dude, which made this even more because they just had nowhere to look. So on December 10th in 1999, he went to a couple of parties with his friends and stuff on Dykstra Hall. I think that's how you say it. Again, I'm sorry if I butcher these names, but you know. He attended a party, or some parties with some friends in that hall, which was also the hall of the dorm that he lived in. So it's not like he was far from home. Like he didn't have far travel. So he went home, we went back to his dorm and played an online computer game with a friend in another dorm room until about 4 a.m. He did lose the game and he went to walk to his friend's dorm room to congratulate him. The friend said that they went their separate ways and Micheal started walking back to his dorm room. And that was the last reported sighting of him. Well, that was the last confirmed sighting of him. So about 9 a.m. the next morning, his roommate realised that he hadn't returned and kind of raised the alarm that he wasn't back yet. So there was some reports in this. I think this is important because there were some reports that said that there were witnesses that saw him or saw someone matching his description leaving the building at 4:35 a.m. Keep that time in mind. So all of his stuff was left behind. There was nothing left at all. Like he left his wallet, like clothes, shoes, everything in the lot. He was wearing a blue shirt, I think khakis, and white shoes when he left. So that's why they don't really think that he bolted because he left like everything. He didn't have any issues at school or anything. Like he was on scholarship, his grades were fine. Like there was nothing to suggest that he would bolt, basically. There were bloodhounds brought in because obviously they were like, all right, missing persons, let's like track where he was last. Right, as you do. And the bloodhounds tracked his scent to a bus stop, which I think was about 1.5 kilometers. About 1.5 kilometers from the school, or like from where he was last seen. The police put this down to, like, because he didn't have his wallet or anything. I mean, he could have had change in his pockets, but also, why would he leave? But so the police basically put this down to the bloodhounds being confused. They said that the hounds just didn't know what they was doing that day. They were having an off day, is what the police said. He didn't have a car, so he couldn't have buzzed off in his car. And they checked all garbage chutes and construction sites on campus and found absolutely nothing. Now, 7 months later, a student came forward and said that he saw a creepy, roughly 35-year-old Caucasian man kind of lurking around Dykstra Hall around 4:35 a.m. that time again, and like didn't know who he was. Like, I feel like someone that age, you would know who it was if it was like a, you know what I mean? So they did a composite sketch of this person, and they released it in 2000. So you're probably sitting there thinking, going, well, why didn't this person come forward before 7 months? Oh, he did. The UCPD, which is like the University of California's police department, they have their own fucking police department. Must be a big school. They just didn't take it seriously. Like, he reported it when this all happened, and they just like didn't take it seriously. They were like, nah bro. The sketch was released in 2000 but never really amounted to anything. At the very least, the police kind of put out a thing where they said, you know, like, if you are this person or you think you are this person, can you please come forward? We just want to talk to you. Like, we don't necessarily think that you did it, but if you could come forward just to tell us if you saw anything or you know anything, like, that'd be fantabulous. And nobody ever did. Nobody ever came forward. So there has been no activity on his bank accounts or anything since he went missing. His case was changed from a missing persons to a homicide, which is kind of sad, I think, but probably necessary. I'm trying to get my shit together. I'm not really sure what to do. I am leaving the house today. Don't come at me for that. Keep in mind that this video is probably filmed a few weeks before you actually see it. We are not on lockdown yet, but we will be soon. But in the meantime, there are some things for work that I can't do from home, which kind of sucks. But luckily, I do only have to leave the house like once a week for an hour or two, and then I can stay home the rest of the time. His parents also hired a couple of private investigators to look into the disappearance as well, and they offered a $100,000 reward if anybody came up with any information. That reward has still not been claimed. Surprises me. I think usually I think at least someone would try to come in with fake information, but just like everybody just left this well enough alone. And, like, nobody saw anything. Like, I think, like, it seems to be, like, unless you were involved in it, you didn't see anything. And you're not going to come forward if you're involved in it for a reward, because you're going to go to jail. So, there is a couple of theories, I suppose, about what happened. One of them being that his brother Steve said in a podcast in 2013, his brother said that he had been experimenting with party drugs of late, which his friends had actually confirmed, like, at the time of the investigation, but somehow it was just never considered a possibility, that he was on something. He left the building while under the influence and then got picked up by one of those people that your mother warns you about. So there is also another theory. So there's this guy named Damon Van Dam. Yeah. And he was thought to have looked quite similar to this composite sketch, right? So everyone was kind of like, bro, that's you, you know? And Van Dam had actually admitted that he was in LA when he went missing. So Van Dam was a friend of Michael's parents, Micheal. Obviously his dad, Micheal. And so like he knew Michael. And so the theory goes that he went there for a video game party with Michael, and then he took Michael and like killed him and shit. But you need to understand that this theory doesn't come with a lot of credibility. Like, he did admit that he was in LA the night that it happened, and people do think that he looks, well, this particular resource thinks that he looks eerily similar to the composite sketch. This particular resource seems to be like a, what do you call it? Like not a fan page, but in support of a man named David Westfield. David Westerfield. Now, David Westerfield is a convicted murderer, and he was actually convicted of killing Damon Van Dam's daughter, Danielle. And it has also, like, it's gone through all these things about, like, his involvement in other sort of high-profile cases. So, yeah, this page is, like, it's in support of this David Westerfield guy. And he also actually alleges Van Dam's involvement in other high-profile cases, like the disappearance and murder of Adam Walsh, Amanda Mary Dohert, and Tiffany Louise Session. So I feel like this guy, he's just finding connections. He's just looking for connections between this support page for this dude. He's just trying to find connections between Damon Van Dam and all of these high-profile cases, maybe to one day appeal and be like, no, we didn't do it, he did. Look at what else he did in the connections that we've found. I don't really know what their end game is, but it's not exactly what I would call a reliable source. So yeah, that's the end. If you have any theories or any information that I've missed, please feel free to put it in the comments below. I would love to discuss it with you. I am all about discussion. Let me know what you think happened to Michael, where you think he went. I personally believe the story of him being high and just wandering and getting picked up by some rando. I think that he did end up at the bus stop. And I think that, like, I agree with him, you know, leaving the apartment. I think he did end up in the bus stop, and that's why the bloodhounds ended up out there. And he either got picked up by a bus and ended up wandering. Like, there's stories of people being high and just, like, wandering around for ages and, you know, ending up hundreds of miles away from where they started. And shit happens when you're high. Like, shit that you can't explain happens when you're high. So yeah, I think that happened, and he either got picked up by someone, or he fell, or he ended up somewhere he shouldn't have been, wrong place, wrong time kind of thing, and he was collateral. I don't really know, but let me know what you think. I'd be really interested to know, and I will see you in the next video.